All right, welcome to Your Time, Your Money, the show where your time is just as valuable as your money, and we know that. Welcome, Matt. I think we have a very timely topic today.
I haven't checked my tickets yet. I may never have to do this show again. I'm so not excited. I love it.
No, we thought it was very timely with nationwide. I mean the what is it, Mega Ball or Powerball?
Powerball, sir. $1 billion.
Yes, $1 billion. Although not the largest jackpot.
Not the largest. I think the largest was like 1.4 billion.
It's 2.1
billion
in California.
But then the cash payout was only like 700 million.
Yeah, after Uncle Sam takes her.
Uncle Sam. Well, it's actually interesting. I didn't realize this, but the cash payout, there's a huge deduction because the way they do their final number is based on a 20-year payment that scaffolds upwards. So your cash payout's actually a lot lower.
Yeah. So we thought it was maybe just a fun episode to do is what to do if you do win the lottery.
What to do,
right? We all wish we're in a situation where even on a scratch off game. I mean, personally, our group have had two clients win $1 million on a scratch off game.
Yeah.
So maybe some of our advice for somebody winning $1 million would be different than somebody winning the full $1 billion, dollars. But we want listeners to maybe think about the circumstances and and who knows, maybe it's $2 million or $3 million.
So let's get it started.
So let's get it started. It's your time.
And your money. So I got a good little start off. I always like knowing the roots of words, right? So the English word lottery is derived from the Dutch noun lot, meaning fate. The first recorded Italian lottery was held on January 9th, 1449 in Milan. And it was organized by the Golden Ambrosian Republic to finance the war against the Republic of Venice. It's always cool, like knowing where something started, right? But yeah, I mean, Mark, to your point, I feel like people wish they win the lottery, but then if it ever happens, it's life-changing in a lot of bad ways and a lot of good ways.
Yeah.
So we're going to kind of jump into some of the ways you can protect yourself. Even if you win $1 million, like you still should protect yourself and you still should take some precautions because, there's a lot of crazy people out there.
Well, what you just read was interesting, right? It was used to fund a war.
Right.
Right. Now, theoretically, it's used to fund education.
Supposedly, education.
To go to educational resources.
Where those dollars actually go?
School taxes never go down, but
school taxes keep going up.
That's a different story. But when you think of lottery, it's funny because the New York State Lottery Association, at least my understanding, familiar with a person that won a sizable estate, one of their top recommendations was to buy ransom insurance.
Right, kidnap insurance.
On your children.
Yep, that makes sense.
And it makes sense. It's fairly scary that's one of the things that people don't think about when they win a lottery. But I think it's an important point that a lot of the recommendations when you do win a lottery are based around protecting you and your family after that.
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with just protection and being thoughtful and not having the same person doing the same things, right? And I say that because when we actually brought this up, I said sign your ticket and take a picture of it and then put it in a safe. And you were like, no, don't sign your ticket. And I'm like, yes, don't sign your ticket and turn it in right away because you want to put all these other protections in place to make sure you're insulated, right? So signing your ticket and taking a picture of it means that it's yours because there is not a conspiracy, but there is a little bit of an issue happening in California right now where there was the potentially stolen ticket and someone, I lost it, I gave it to my friend, and then
this was mine, prove it.
Right, this is mine, prove it, and now it's like, well, how do we really know? So that's why we looked a couple different areas where we could try to get some info because we obviously have never won the lottery.
Yeah.
But I won the lottery of life, baby. All right,
that's just because we're here with me.
That's the lottery that I won. By the way, a happy early birthday to Mark Esley right here. The young age of 39 years old. The guy that looks like an absolute Greek god. But yeah, sign your ticket, take a picture of it, put it in a safe. Right, put it somewhere where no one can find it and you can't lose it.
Yeah, and I think taking a 30,000-foot view level is the very first thing you have to think when you win is protection.
Absolutely.
Is privacy and protection.
Yep.
Right? So
and don't make any big purchases.
So yes, sign the ticket. but you don't necessarily want to turn it in
Not right away.
until you get your team up and running.
Right. What's my
Right.
team look like?
And that's not a blanket statement for every state, because certain states allow you to claim anonymously.
Right. Privately, but New York is not one of them.
New York is not one, and a majority of states are not. You know,
Right.
so Delaware, Kansas, North Dakota, Ohio, South Carolina, and Maryland are all anonymous claim states.
Right.
So, you know, go ahead, claim, you know, even before you have your strategy in place, but you might not want to. You want to take a deep breath because you have this euphoria of just winning a massive
Oh my
amount of
God,
money,
I won 50 million, right?
and you make irrational decisions anytime you have a lot of emotion behind it.
Well, I mean, so think about it like this. I mean, how many stories are there out there where someone wins the lottery and then they're broke within 5 years?
Yeah.
Because they don't understand the concepts of spending appropriately and leverage, and they just don't see those things happening. They don't see them in the big picture.
Yeah, and the second thing you're going to want to do, one, either after you sign your ticket, put it in a safe place, or let's say you sign your ticket and you have a trusted attorney that you already have on staff,
Retainer,
so to speak,
right.
retainer, is have them hold on to it.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and they may even facilitate the claiming process.
Right, they might be the one there helping you, and you're not actually showing your face.
Yeah, I mean, if you go down to the lottery building in Schenectady, they like the claimant to go there so they can take a picture of them on the sidewalk.
Right.
And then it's posted all over social media.
Yeah, that's probably not what you're going to want to
And
do.
everybody and their brother knows, like, oh, this is the winner.
Now I got to change my phone number. Now I got to get private security. So, I mean, I know that the second thing that I would do is absolutely, I would be looking at a security team, a physical security team, but a virtual and digital one as well.
Yeah, you want to protect against identity theft early on, especially.
Yeah, big time.
One of the recommendations is usually to delete out your social media
Yep.
pages, you know, your digital presence, to recreate a new one.
Correct, because
Right.
you're going to need a protected presence.
Yeah, think of about it like a reset with Facebook, where you're going back and you're saying, you know, out of these 400 friends,
Right.
who are my friends?
I did hear this.
Might
Great
be
story.
3, might be
I
4.
heard this great story where a guy won the lottery and he called his 30 closest friends and told them all he needed money. And whoever showed up with money for him to help him, he actually helped them. Right. And he only had one person show up. So that just shows you the world we're living in now. But yeah, private security, virtual and, in person, really, really important to protect your family and protect your digital presence, which, that's where fraud happens most right now.
Yeah.
Is on the digital platforms, either on
And you
online
should
banking or.
Yeah, you should legally also, in addition to that, legally change your address to a post office box.
Right. Just do a P.O. box.
And do a P.O. box, legally change that, and it's all about privacy and protection.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to say that over and over again, but very first thing, an attorney, right? You want an
Yep.
attorney to
Get an
start
attorney.
drafting up a legal entity, perhaps a trust, something that can protect the assets, make sure that they're safe and sound, that just randomly can't be taken by
Right.
a creditor or anything
But
along that lines.
the bigger piece, though, is if you're going to have an attorney, you have an attorney and a CPA and a financial advisor who are all separate.
Yeah.
And then even without people winning the
Well,
lottery.
let's delve into those maybe 6 people,
Yeah.
right, that you want to have. And I say 6 people because you don't want to have one attorney.
No, you could have 3.
Right.
You could have two or 3 attorneys.
Yeah, preferably 3, right? You want to have an attorney that specializes in protection, trust, that type of stuff. You want to have an attorney that specializes in tax law.
Right, tax law attorney is
Right.
or what is it called? The CPA, but it's called it's a certain type of CPA that does the law side of it.
Yeah, there's 75,000 pages of tax law.
Right.
And you are instantly in one day a high net worth person.
The highest net worth
Extremely.
on the planet, right?
You know what I mean? So you want somebody that is going to work within those 75,000 pages of tax law to preserve your asset.
Yep.
So you're not losing the amount of taxes unnecessarily that you don't have to, because a 10% miss like on tax code for $100 million, that's a $10 million mistake.
That's a big hit.
Right?
It's a big hit.
When you have $1,000, it's not that big, $100. But when you're talking 100 million or more,
Yeah, it could be
right,
200 million.
that's a massive miss.
So
And then also you want an estate planning attorney, right? So
Yep.
so you want someone to protect
trust,
it now.
tax, estate.
You want someone to protect it as it grows, and you want somebody to protect it as it transfers.
Yep.
So really, 3 attorneys should be in that
And I think all of them will be happy to work together, especially paying them, an hourly rate. You're going to retain 3 attorneys and pay them 30 grand probably up front, but they're all going to have to play in the same sandbox.
Yep. And then, I would say a fourth would be an accountant, right?
Right. An independent CPA.
Preferably a larger firm.
Yes.
Preferably a larger firm with a lot of specialists, for different tax strategies, foundation strategies, donation strategies.
Because you're gonna immediately be thrust into philanthropy.
Correct.
Right. So you're gonna have to know how to cut a check, where to cut a check, when to cut a check.
Yep.
And
then an advisor.
Or multiple advisors.
Yep. A team of advisors, a team that has advisors, and I think if you start building that out right, you end up with the best chance of growing the money.
Well, I mean, growing, living off of, helping those who you want to help, buying businesses, buying real estate. People don't realize that this spread is insane. But the biggest mistake people make when they win the lottery is I'm gonna start buying things and living outside my means, because you only get that income once.
Yeah.
You don't perpetually get it. So if I win $50 million and I get used to spending $5 million a year, well, guess what? 10 years from now, I'm out of money. I got nothing left.
And you hate to say it, but everybody becomes a friend.
Oh my God! I mean, you gotta really protect yourself.
Any charity, perhaps, that a friend may have done in the past may want monetary reimbursement for it.
Right.
Just use a crazy example. Let's say somebody comes and they, your car breaks down and you call them and they come out last minute and they change your tire and stuff. It could have been 5 years ago.
Right.
They could be like, well, you owe me $1,000 for that because
I came and helped you with your car, right? So I mean, that's where you got to be very close and be very smart with the family and the friends that you end up connecting with, because it is a very intrinsic world, and people are in for their own motives. So you got to just be super careful.
The other route is hey, now that I know this person has money, I have the Shark Tank idea.
Right.
You know what I mean? I want you to fund and as a non-investor or somebody that's not familiar with with all these different things that you're going to be presented with. It might sound like a great deal. Like, hey, we should start a distillery.
Yeah,
we only need 13 million. Come on, you've got 400 million.
Right,
we only need 13 million. So eventually you're going to get presented a lot of potential opportunities.
Right.
But people are just looking for the bankroll.
And then that's where you can offload that to your advisor or to your CPA and say, hey, listen, if you have a really good idea, then this is who you have to talk to, and let that person vet the idea. Because at the end of the day, whether you have 100 million or a million or $100, you're still a person, and you still have wants and wishes and needs and desires. And you don't always want to talk about business. That's not always what you want to talk about and have conversations about.
And having part of that portfolio that's fixed and guaranteed is ultimately important. In case all the other stuff falls through.
Well, and that's where immediately I look at a situation where someone wins $400 million. Well, take a quarter of it and make it perpetual income forever, and you'll never run out of money. Yeah. Right. You take $100 million and make it perpetual income using some type of vehicle, either be it real estate or annuity or whatever the case may be, or triple tax exempt muni bonds. You're going to have income forever, no matter how much money you spend. Yeah. It's going to be very difficult to screw that up.
Yeah, and I think one of the last questions that most people have is, what do I do? Take the lump sum, or do I take the lifetime payout?
Do you take the payout? Right.
In most cases, financially, the lump sum, even though you're getting hit with it, the lump sum is usually the best bet, because once it's there, then you can control the taxes.
Right. Then you can control it after.
Right. In simplistic terms, not that somebody would, you could throw it all into a tax-free investment and never pay tax on it again.
You could.
But usually the lump sum works out, from a financial standpoint, a management standpoint, whether it's through hedging investments, growing the money, taking that right away is usually the best bet for most clients.
Right. And here's a great strategy. You do win something like that. You would probably, a really smart strategy would be to create trusts inside of your plan and buy whole life insurance on all of your family members, right? Just like the Rockefellers did back in the 1920s. And then perpetually, because your family members age and then they pass, and then when they pass, what happens? Life insurance passes tax-free, and then you can borrow from life insurance policies, et cetera, et cetera. So there's always methods, but if it does happen to you, then at least you got a resource, you got some thoughts.
And most people would plan an immediate move,
right.
that to maintain privacy, to maintain the anonymity
Anonymity.
of an individual that won a massive amount of money.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So just some food for thought. We thought a fun episode just to discuss.
I won!
You know, and you know, most importantly, if you do win the lottery, you can reach out to the Esley Group, 43 British American Boulevard, Latham, New York, 12110. You can reach us at 844-444-YTYM. Schedule an appointment with us. We'd be happy to sit down with you, regardless of whether you won the lottery or not.
Yeah, no, but it'd be cool if you did. Then we'd be happy. We'd jump up and down.
Yeah.
I got a great idea for you.
So, you know, like and subscribe. You know, please, on our site, it's important that, you know, we continue to get the good message out there of different topics and stuff. So a little more lively topic today. I think a little bit more fun to talk about the what ifs, right? That's why you buy the ticket after all.
Yeah, well, you know, what about me? It could happen, right?
Hey, you never know, right?
You
That's
never know. It could happen to
the
me.
lottery thing for New York State. Right?
love it.
I wonder if is that for every state?
I don't know how they market it in every state.
It's probably
Like, hey, if you win, I'm going to slap you in the head, right? Like something like that. Is that what it is in Tennessee, down south? So, all right.
Don't experience FOMO.
No FOMO. No FOMO. So,
all right. As always, it's your time.
your money.